Hi, my name's Jeff Tedesco. I'm president and owner of ReadyToPlay. I first want to thank you for using our service to convert your CDs. We're just a few minutes away from you seeing all the files in iTunes, and so we've got to go through a few steps to get the files installed and into iTunes, but then you'll be enjoying your music. In this video, we're going to show you how to take your files from a network attached storage, or an NAS, which we provided for you, and bring them into iTunes, and also how to manage the NAS from a PC. Alright, so we're going to start with, I have a couple models of NASs here. This may not be an exact copy of the NAS you received. This is a Seagate Black Armor, this is a Buffalo. They're both 4-drive systems. You'll see here if I open the door. But the main similarity is the fact that not the number of drives, it's how they're hooked up. If you look here on the back of the NAS, it has a power, and it also is connected to your router via Ethernet. So at this point, I want to make sure that you have set up the NAS, plugged it in, and also connected it with the Ethernet cable to your router. Now, once it's booted up and powered up, we're going to go over to the PC and start doing some things to recognize the NAS and find it on your system. Alright, before we start on that, you should have received a disk within the box for the NAS. Whether it was a Buffalo NAS or a Black Armor or some other vendor, take this disk and make sure you install and run the program on your PC. These are finder programs that will enable us to find that NAS and administrate it, and also find the files on the NAS. Alright? Now, assuming that you've got the NAS plugged in, you've run the disk, we're going to open up iTunes, and I've got to ask you to change a couple different settings. So here we have the new version 11.0 from iTunes, and we're going to go over to the Edit menu and go down to Preferences. Alright? The first tab you're going to see is called General. And in the General tab, there's an item that you can select called Import Settings. I'm going to select that. Its default setting is AAC encoder. Now what we're doing here is we're changing the format for any future CDs that you want to rip to match those files that we did for ReadyToPlay. Chances are you had them done in what's called Apple lossless. So you'll see here a choice to rip it in Apple lossless, or you had them done in MP3. For purposes of our demonstration today, let's choose Apple lossless, and we're going to say OK. The second setting that we're going to check is on the Advanced tab. Alright? You'll see here the iTunes Media folder location. This is the location on your C drive from which all the CDs that you rip or buy online, or songs that you buy online from the iTunes store, will go. But there's two boxes below it. One that says Keep It Folder Organized, and the other one says Copy Files. We're going to uncheck these. We don't want iTunes keeping our folder, moving it around, and doing all those sorts of things. And we're going to use a manual process to copy the files from our NAS. And we don't want them copying to our C drive and filling it up from the NAS. So we uncheck this box and say OK. Alright, now we're going to minimize, if I can, minimize iTunes. Now we need to go find the NAS. Alright? So I'm going to use, you'll see here a desktop icon for Buffalo. I've got one here for the Black Armor Discovery. We'll use the Buffalo as an example. If I click on that, it goes around the network and it pulls and it finds it. I've got a NAS here called JTKEG. Yours will be named something else, but it'll automatically be found by the software. Alright, at this point what I'd like to do is take a look at it and browse it. And when you hit browse, you can open up a folder, which are the share folders, and you'll see one called lossless or MP3. Mine's called music, and if you click on it, it'll open up the folder and it'll have all the different artist names. This is how you can see the music. Before I do that, I also want to show you how to manage the NAS, which means open a web window into that NAS and be able to configure it or change any settings. So if you right click on it and say Open Web Setting, it's going to open a browser with its IP address, which is assigned by your router. Here you'll see a login. The default login for all the NASs that we do is admin as the username and password as the password. If you click Login, it will then log into the Buffalo, Pro Duo, Terra Station, whatever NAS that you have. And here you'll get notifications. For example, we have low disk space, or you can get notifications, set up new share folders here. Okay? Actually go in and add new share folders besides music, one for photos, one for movies, whatever you want. You can have it do backups. You can do all sorts of access rights, those sorts of things. All right? So that's how you get into your NAS. You access it through the browser, you can manage it. But through Explorer, if I will, down here, you've got all your folders of music that we had open. I'm going to shut the navigator. So now we want to bring our music in from the NAS. So you found it. Here's the address, jtkeg/music. Yours might be a set of numbers, /lossless, or /mp3. We'll open up iTunes over here on the right side, and I'm going to bring in this Aerosmith album, this Aerosmith folders. Yours will be called M4A. It's the entire folder. So go into it, take the M4A folder, and you simply drag it over to iTunes, to the lower half, and unclick it. And what you're going to see is a dialog in iTunes that says Adding Files. And now what it's doing is it's adding all the songs from that particular folder, or the NAS. And if you click on Aerosmith here, you'll be able to see the 26 albums we had in that folder of Aerosmith. All right. If you also notice, we had some music already in there. That was from the local C drive. That could be music that was downloaded or purchased by yourself. So we simply added the Aerosmith folder. Now, if you want to add, if you've got other folders that you want to add, like for example this Allman Brothers folder, you simply drag it over. For your purposes, you're going to have a folder with your name called Lossless, and down below it M4A. I would select the M4A, drag it in, and it could take a period of time to bring it into iTunes. Also, I want to remind you that your PC should definitely be Ethernet connected during this process. Even if you're reading them off the NAS, if you're Ethernet connected, the job will go much, much faster than if you're trying to do this wirelessly. And in fact, I've heard of customers with 500 CD collections taking days to import their music wirelessly. So what you want to do is import it to iTunes over Ethernet, and it will take minutes. I want to thank you for using Ready to Play, and we hope that you're enjoying your music.